just several days ago, the Met Gala, which is an annual fashion event that is has been lauded for many years, was put on, and it was co-sponsored by Jeff Bezos, who is the owner of Amazon, and Jay-Z and Beyonce. And there was a lot of pushback with the Met Gala, particularly this year, because in this huge economic downturn that we are experiencing, that a lot of Americans are experiencing, people are beginning to read it as a Marie Antoinette's "let them eat cake" moment. But I mean, I think my first question is that I thought it was really interesting to pair, because this was a pairing of tech, Bezos, and music or lifestyle with Jay-Z. Thought that was really kind of interesting. I have some thoughts that I'm still ruminating over. But what are your thoughts about the Met Gala in general and the two sides of this event?
I think the Jeff Bezos thing kind of tainted the gala this year in a way because it really feels like he was like literally trying to buy favor. Like he spent $10 million to try to rehab his image a little bit. And the funny thing is, I before I knew that he sponsored it, I was wondering why I saw his wife so many places and so many pictures. I'm like, first of all, her shit wouldn't even fly. You know what I'm saying? Like your shit not fly. So why am I seeing her everywhere as like the first? You know how the thumbnail on the Met Gala shit. I'm like, yeah, this dry ass dress. I seen a whole bunch of stuff that was way doper than hers. But when I saw that he paid $10 million, I'm like, oh, there it is, right? Like there's the rub. And like you said, it does feel like a Marie Antoinette situation where we're literally talking about Amazon workers not being able to take bathroom breaks. We're talking about Amazon workers not getting a wage, trying to replace them with AI and all of these things, not wanting them to unionize, getting rid of anybody who's trying to make them unionize. And then you and your wife spend $10 million. Like you don't want to give them a raise, but you can spend $10 million at a gala and not even look fly. Like, why? Why spend $10 million if you're not even gonna come fly? Like y'all both look trash at the gala. But it's funny that he did this the year that Jay-Z and Beyonce were basically the curators. You
Right.
know,
And Dave, that's my point. So you wait to give this money to taint, right? Because what's really happening in the Met or in the space overall, and if you know the history of how the Met came to be, it actually put I would like to say a colonial era opera out of business, right? If you know anything about the history of the Met, the Metropolitan was like the new up and coming thing, right? And so the Met Gala over its history was this opportunity in many ways to keep opera fresh and new and make it accessible, right, to younger generations, because the more colonial opera, right, during the Gilded Age, right, wasn't seen didn't progress, if that makes any sense. So the Met Gala, in many ways, has become this fashionable icon thing, right, to draw in younger people, right, to then even want to understand what the opera's about, engage in that music, blah, 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 blah. So I just found it very interesting that as soon as, this curation gets passed down to a particular set of people, now you writing the check. Now you ain't wrote a check all this other time, but now all of a sudden, when this particular black couple is now hosting this and having the ability, right, to shape the narrative around art, around whatever, now all of a sudden, now you want to write a check. Because you can't convince me they didn't ask Jeff Bezos for money before. You can't convince me that they haven't came and asked him for money before. And so and I don't have something else to say about his wife, but I'll just leave it there because his wife probably told him hell no. At the time, Mackenzie Scott, who was his wife, probably told him hell no while he was married to her. But all I'm saying is I just found that piece odd. Like, I'm not saying I have a value judgment on Jay-Z or Beyonce or whatever. I just found it very odd that now you ready to drop 10 mil when it's the black folk turn.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to say shout out to Mackenzie Scott, the ex of Jeff Bezos, who has by far given a lot of HBCUs and nonprofits over the
Hmm.
years. That spend that DeVos money, girl. Spend it, drop it. Our Republic would like some of that too. But I do. I have to applaud that and acknowledge that of how she's using that that money in a time and a need where, I mean, it's so needed. And she's stepping in. I have to acknowledge that. Then, in terms of Jeff Bezos, this is to me a very clear indication of what I've started to really talk about, but I've been ruminating over for at least 15 years are these tech people really intentionally inserting themselves into politics, into economy, and now they're in culture. And they're that to me, this Bezos having his wedding in Italy and inviting all these who's who. And I'm so glad you brought up the Gilded Age. One, I love the HBO show The Gilded Age because Claire Huxtable is in there. But it's so interesting you brought this up as these tech barons, the Musks and all these, and the Palantir guys and everything are creating this Gilded Age by way of tech and how they're inserting themselves. And so them being at the Met Gala is inserting themselves, as you pointed out, in this high culture moment. With that being said, I think it is important that we do call out Jay-Z and Beyonce for participating in an event where people are suffering and not be intentional in talking about what's happening just to artists, period, in this age. A lot of artists are struggling. And so I think that is a responsibility that is had. Jay-Z has a dire history of stamping out valid protest, i.e., Colin Kaepernick, when that was going on, and he brokered the deal for the halftime shows for the Super Bowl, and I think that that's important. And also, while the gala was going on, Christian Smalls, I think that's his name, who was an Amazon worker who started advocating for the unionization of Amazon workers, a brother with like gold teeth and like locks in his head. He actually was arrested for protesting. So I think that if Jay-Z and Beyonce were about that, they could have carved out some time to articulate and things that Black people need to hear. And I think we do need to hold people more accountable. And as well, Jay-Z has been, he tried to get that casino in New York, but Nas got it. I also think that he's also trying to make these power plays to position himself as well. But I just want to.
That's probably he can keep his dick in his pants long enough. Because remember, that's why he had to move out of New York to begin with.
Well, I ain't got nothing. God damn. Lemonade album number 2 dropping 2027. Man. But okay. So any thoughts on that? Any more thoughts on that? Okay. Well, you know what? I missed y'all. It is so, you know what? This month, I be waiting because there's so many things that happen in the month, so there's so many things we could talk about, but I love what we talk about when we do come together. I miss y'all, but I really am enjoying seeing how you are moving and everything. So I want to why don't y'all talk about your respective work that is going on. You have a documentary, Dame, that just came out. Sharice is blowing up with her book. Please let us know. Oh, and Arc Republic is going to be in Amsterdam. So let's talk about what we doing.
Yeah, I currently have um, a documentary called How the West Was Born. It's on the Relay app on Roku and Fire Stick and all those places, but it's going to be coming to a few more streaming services soon. We're like finishing the negotiations for those. Some of the bigger ones like Hulu and Apple TV and all that stuff. So we're
Apple
negotiating.
TV, that's the one I want. That's what I like.
Yeah, yeah. So we're negotiating those now where you can watch it all those places. But basically, the documentary is about the history of West Coast hip hop pre NWA because people outside of California think West Coast hip hop started with NWA.
Did
So
not.
we dive into the crews, excuse me, that birth NWA, that birth, Ice-T, and all those crews all the way down. Like the lineage, if you follow the lineage from Uncle Jam's Army and World Class Wrecking Crew, it goes from those two all the way to Kendrick Lamar, direct line. So they are really the real pioneers of West Coast hip hop. And I wanted to try to give them their flowers, one, and let people know, like, yo, we have a rich history of hip hop pre NWA, and it wasn't even gangster rap. It was something called electro funk.
Egyptian lover, baby.
Exactly.
Egyptian lover. What? No,
Yes,
no,
exactly.
no, no.
So
Yes.
we
God
were
damn it.
EDM before EDM. You know what I mean? We the original EDM from West Coast, and so I
Yes.
kind of just I'm exploring that. It's not even a long doc; it's an hour and 1 minute, but I think it tells the whole story. It gets to the nitty gritty of it, and everybody I know who watched it so far say they loved it. They appreciate what they were able to learn, and they were so shocked that they hadn't even heard of these crews and the stuff that they were doing pre NWA. So that's why I made the doc, and that's what we got going on, and that's what's on the horizon for us right now.
So people can watch it again one more time. Where?
Right now, you can watch it on the Relay app.
Okay.
And if you ain't got a Relay, just get the 1 week trial. And then you
Okay.
get that shit before the trial is over. You got 1 week to watch it.
Okay.
So I've been trying to push the book, especially in this political climate. So I'll, put the book up there. Visibly Invisible, women of the Black women of the Congressional Black Caucus, doing interviews, all of that. If you follow me at Dr. DRJANAYE on Instagram, you'll see all of those interviews and what I have going on with that. I've also been asked to attend a workshop on foreign affairs and religion up at the Council of Foreign Relations in New York for the end of the month of May. So I'll be going up there. And then in June, I'll be sitting on a council about the future of HBCUs and how do we galvanize ourselves in this moment. So that's what's going on with me. Again, you can find me, follow me on IG at DRJANAYE.
All right, and Arc Republic will be. Damn it! I'm so proud of us. Arc Republic will be. We will be covering StableCon, which is a cryptocurrency regulatory conference. That is taking place. There's two. There's an international one. There's one that is taking place in DC in September, but we're covering the international one in Amsterdam, May 19th and 20th. We are one of the media sponsors of the conference. I think we probably are the only Black American publication that will be there covering it. So we going Super Bowl big in Amsterdam, and we'll be giving you play by play on that, one. And then two, we are the media arm for our sister organization, Black Farmers Index, and they are throwing Juneteenth celebration down in the bayou. It's called the Lafayette. Lafayette is the festival, and it's going to be in Lafayette, Louisiana, at the Benoit Francis American Legion Post 504, June 20th. We're working with farmers, and we're having a night market. So the market's going to be from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. And
Nice.
so because it's going to be hot as hell in June, and so that's why we're doing a night market, and as well to also bring, because that's when the people start coming out at night uh,
Yeah.
during that time, and it's called the Bayou Boogie. So, we're going to bring some of that straight West Coast down to Louisiana. And you can catch us. As you can see, we're starting to push things out gradually. We may not push out things every 5 minutes, but when we do, goddamn it, I hope you sitting on it, because these are definitely some really good information that's coming out. So it's good to see y'all. And I will be seeing you in a month's time, unless something goes down and we got to jump on the horn, but I'm just a call away. And I would like to thank y'all for following Arc Republic. I don't know if y'all know this. Arc Republic is 9 years old. Arc Republic
Wow.
turned 9.
Wow.
Yes. Arc Republic turned 9.
That's
Well,
amazing.
actually, officially turns 9 in June.
That's amazing.
Yeah, June, something like that. So, yep. So, we've been out here. We've been doing things. So, thank y'all. See y'all shortly.